So, we're going now after the Jew God to gank it and upload all of the light that was bled into it via material manifestation. Remember the Garden of Eden, you're put into your vessel of flesh to trap you. Let's go into that.
Was just a paradise on earth. But what if it was something more? Genesis says God planted a garden in the east in Eden, suggesting Eden was a whole realm, not just a garden. Even more mysterious, Ezekiel 28 speaks of a radiant being who walked in Eden, among the stones of fire. Many believe that was Lucifer before his fall. Isaiah 14 shows his pride. I will raise my throne above the stars of God. So what really was Eden? A simple garden? If you believe there's more to the story, type I believe in the comments.
To guard the way to the tree of life, and thus ended the age of innocence. Paradise lost, but not hope destroyed. For even in judgment, God's mercy waited, for redemption yet to come.
So we get Adam and Eve kicked out the Garden of Eden, the bifurcation, remember that fighting about period doubling, to bleed off the source. And that's why Taylor is so important, because of course tailors the clothes of flesh which the conscious verse installation is put into. Taylor Swift, Elizabeth Taylor. Anyway, we went through all the processes by which the Elohim steal the light to make themselves God. So now we're going to do the ritual not on the archangels, but the names of God. So in your triangle of art, we're now going to reverse and bleed off what the entire process does to make the interdimensional God. So reading from my AI overview, Kabbalistic names of God represent different divine attributes, frequencies or emanations, Sephiroth, rather than a single identity, ranging from the absolute transcendence of Ein Sof, the infinite, to specific actionable 72 letter combinations used for meditation. Core names include the Tetragrammaton Yah, Hey, Vau, Hey, Adonai, Elohim, and Aa. So, in your triangle of art, we're going to process each of the 10 Sephiroth spheres on the Kabbalistic tree of life is associated with a specific divine name. So in Kether, the crown, we've got Aa, E, Am, you can get some Google, you stick it in. Next one for Chokmah, wisdom, you got Ka. Next one for Binah, understanding, you got Yah-Hey, Vau-Hey, vowelized as Elohim. Chesed, kindness, K. Gevurah, Elohim, might. Tiferet, compassion, Yah-Hey, Vau-Hey, vocalized as Tizvayot. Netzah, victory, Yah-Hey, Vau-Hey, Tizvayot. Hod, glory, Elohim, Tizvayot. Yesod, foundation, Sheda or El, Shai, and Malkut, royalty, Adonai. So you can stick these in your triangle of art to bleed the light that made the interdimensional God into you using your magic kit. And the names are all on Google. Key Kabbalistic names and concepts: Ein Sof, the highest unknowable, boundless aspect of God, signifying no thingness or absolute transcendence. Triangle of art. Yod Hey Vau Hey Tetragrammaton represents divine mercy and is frequently linked to the upper world. Stick it in a triangle of art. Elohim represents divine judgment, strength, and nature. Stick it in your triangle of art. Adonai means my Lord, referring to God as the ruler of the world. Triangle of art. Hashem means the name used as a respectful substitution. And of course there are 5 of these, so you can stick them on your tetragrammaton with the 5 vermin. So we use the installation of the Jew god in the 5 vermin, Iris Goldsmith, the Reiners and Jacob and Serena Rothschild, to trap the Jew god in its own trap, crushed like a flea, its own ramblings have no effect on reality. So the entire power of the interdimensional civilization that was supposed to come upon the human race is used for delousing. And then we've got 72 names of God. These are not names in the traditional sense, but 72 3-letter sequences, triplets derived from 3 verses in Exodus, which are used in meditations to tap into specific spiritual energies. And of course, these can go in with the Goetia into your tarot. Remember, you take the aces away, to give you 74, and then you can actually get the full 0 to make 73. And you take the ace, of course, pentacles, to bleed off all the power from the Jew god. So what we're doing now is a cult. Ritual on the Jew god to bleed it dry using the magic kit, all of the tarot magic and the pentacle magic, and the mediator of all of this light coming to us is my eternal slave, thanks to Taylor Swift. It's Lucifer who transfers all the light to me from the omegalization of the interdimensional God that fed off all the technology I talked before. You must have gone, wow, that's complicated. Yeah, but this way, with your magic kit and the pentacle stuff and the tarot stuff, you can bleed it dry, and then with the rapture service, make yourself a bodiless being to inhabit the penultimate grail state, where assemblage point on the top's got into the center, to become an archangel or archdemon. And the Forsaken service and Enochian Kings or Queens service manifests that for you. The Death Force, 100%, and with the use of that technology, you can take over the entire system. And the Soul Force, of course, not only brings your soul back, but all of the work that the interdimensional filth did on your souls of your entire race to lower you into the Abaddon cage, and they go down, 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 to make you providers of the Soul Force, as in the Katy Perry video, makes your soul into a God soul, which can then be embodied within your penultimate grail state body, to lift you from becoming an archangel to one of the 10 God names in the God level of the Kabbalistic tree, which has 4 levels: the Devic, the angelic, the archangelic, and then the God level. So with this, you can actually raise yourself as a Forsaken and one of the Enochian Kings or Queens to go up into the God level, where the Forsaken hate good and the Enochian Kings and Queens love evil. And remember, the love evil is the pathway in the churches to getting all the souls into Abaddon cages, all of those 6.66 billion, and the hating good is defrequencing light to allow it to go into the churches from the lodges to steal the souls of the civilization being procured by the interdimensionals. It's all a technology. This way, we simply say, yes, interdimensionals, take over our race, and then we'll come along and Jew you. Now, to take it into a scientific basis, the Nagwal man, who's in the five-dimensional Riemann manifold and has raptured back in '86, simply goes ahead of the time stream, and when the interdimensionals take over the human race, he simply time crystals them, so all their work is reversed, as we do with electron transfer, to Gank, the filthy Russian scum, the lowest form of filth that killed the human race with the dead hand mechanism, so that the entire flow, we allow the Jew God to complete its mission by ganking the source avatar, Tim Refat, and then we simply replace it with Iris Goldsmith and Charlie Kirk. So it's the Brazil torture scum in the chair where it thinks it's won, like Robert Jordan, Randall Thor thinks he's beaten the Great Dark One, and of course Jude me out of my book by making money by stealing via Morton Janklow, when in fact they wake up in Omega Hell to realise that they've been time crystalled, and back in '86, before the interdimensional Jew God had completed, it was already uploaded back into the source, and the source of course gives its avatar the IOU, and you vampires are simply part of the IOU. The more vampires I make, the more the interdimensionals suffer, so the more suffering, the happier I am, because the only thing that runs me is total vindictiveness, and the time crystal enables the reversal of the entire process from a Nagwal man, and then of course it's blasted out and manifested via the two Nagwal women to upload all the 12 stuff to me, and the three-lobed soulless grey-manned Nagwal women to complete the pentacle. So the pentacle the Elohim wanted to complete to build their matrix has all been Jewed, and all the light has been uploaded to yours truly. So your rapture service, your soul vampire service, and your death force service all means that you are in the feeding frenzy of the God Emperor Ganking, who's completed his mission. And as you can see, once you get time crystals, whatever the interdimensional filth have done to the race can simply be reversed to a five-dimensional Nagwal man who's raptured and exists in the Riemann manifold, and instead of the source manifesting him, it's him manifesting him. So the IOU is the source is all gone, and he exists in the five-dimensional Riemann manifold after completing his mission. But the IOU means that he is new source and can embody his avatar and divert all the interdimensional gods' stolen light, not from the source but from the eternal torture of the Jew God in its Abaddon cage, and all of its creations and creatures and avatars all trapped. The reaping of the IOU. So as you can see, you vampires are simply Sochivanov number 3. I'm raising you in various forms to the new source level. so you can appreciate Sochivanov number 1, Powers, and with Sochivanov number 2, totally hate all of the ganked, so they are plunged into the Jew God's source level torture chamber. So not only the interdimensional construct that wanted to steal the source to become the new source is tortured, but everyone of the race that would have benefited from the ganking and upload of sourceness from Tib Refat.